Money in the bank is no longer safe. Let's talk about it. So I think we've all known for a while now that the money in your bank is not actually there. Okay, it's not really there. If everybody wanted to get their money out at once, there would be serious problems, serious consequences for the banks, for the financial systems. And that's actually happening right now, okay? And these things always happen in other countries, and then they move their way over to the United States. And if you want links for all these articles, I know people are always asking about that. You can go to my new website where I'm gonna have all these articles posted up, and a lot more too. A lot more news that I can't even talk about on YouTube is also going to be on this website. So you can go to, make sure you type in the full website, www.humreport.com. And if you go to that website, you will see at the top, China is shutting down protests for people trying to get their money out of the bank. Okay, so multiple major banks in China are shutting down any withdrawals, any deposits. You are not allowed to touch your money in your bank. Okay, this is insane. And hundreds of people are outside protesting because their whole life savings are in this bank. Okay, they've saved up their whole life. They've trusted this bank. They put their money in there. They see the number in there. Supposedly, they think the money's in there. That's how we feel too. Like, we have this digital number now in our bank account, and we hope it's there. But if you really wanted to get it out, if you really wanted to get out a large amount of money, it would be a huge ordeal. It would take the bank days. Okay, I've tried to cash large checks or deposit large checks and get the money out right away, anything like that. They were like, oh, we have to wait like days. We have to put in a money order, like literally an order for the amount of money that you want, because they just don't have any cash on hand. And this is recently. This is in the past 6 months. I sold a big asset and I had a check, and it was so hard to, it took 2 weeks for it to clear. It's crazy. So this is what's happening at the banks in China, and this could potentially happen in America as well. And countries all around the world are turning their back on the dollar internationally. Okay, the dollar is having huge issues. So India is now deciding to just make their payments using their rupees. They're no longer using dollars. So we're seeing more and more countries turn away from the dollar because they are vulnerable to sanctions. And get this, inflation next year, next June, is predicted to be even higher than it was last June, just last month. So June 2023 inflation is expected to be higher than June 2022 inflation. And I believe the numbers were 6.8. It was 6.6 last month, and it's going to be 6.8 next year still. And that's what these cooked book numbers. This also comes as the euro is collapsing right now. It's at its lowest level. It is almost at the same level as the dollar, and it's normally at a much higher exchange rate. So they're about equivalent right now. It's about 1 for 1, and it's its lowest level, its lowest exchange rate that it's had. So we're just seeing major problems worldwide. This also comes as Europe is bracing for a, quote, gas nightmare. So they have officially shut off the liquid natural gas pipeline for, quote, maintenance, very convenient. And they are saying that it is very slim chances that the gas pipeline is going to turn back on. We've reported that there would be heat rationing and hot water rationing and heat for your home rationing in Europe, and that's currently happening. Okay, but don't worry, they will have heat spaces for you to go to, so like mass heat spaces. I don't know how that's saving energy, but the government controls it. they control the heat. They can decide to turn it on and off in their little space that you can go to if you're cold. So this is very dystopian. This is what we're heading towards. And do you remember when Canada was freezing the freedom protesters, the freedom convoy truckers? They were freezing their bank accounts. Do you remember that? That was just a few months ago. That was in February. So this can happen anywhere, guys. And also, just a few years ago, there were reports at the start of the lockdowns and everything that banks didn't have enough money for withdrawals because apparently they couldn't print money anymore. They couldn't print any more paper money. They can print digital money. They can print as much as they want of that, but they couldn't print any more paper money or any coins. Do you remember that? They were like, oh, please, if you have any coins, give it to us. If you have exact change, we don't have any change. We don't have any money. You remember that? So this can be shut down at any moment, any time. And I'm telling you, try to go get over $10,000 out of your bank account. Go try. It's not going to happen. You can't do it. They will not. It'll take days. You'll have to call and order it. All this stuff. It'll be a disaster. Okay? So if you do have, money in the bank, what are you supposed to do? But make sure you at least have some cash. Okay? If there's a collapse scenario, if there's a cyber attack on a major bank, that's a very possible threat as well, then cash is going to be king. People are still going to value cash. They're still going to want to use it. Businesses aren't going to be able to operate. They're not going to be able to take your card if there's a major cyber attack on a banking institution or a credit card processor or whatever, anything along those lines. They're very vulnerable. So make sure you have plenty of cash stashed away in your preps. It's just one of those things, like, the list is endless. There's thousands of things that you need to have prep, but make sure you have cash too. It'll still be valuable in a collapse scenario. That's going to be the first thing people think of. Yes, gold, all these other things are obviously going to be valuable as well. Other metals too. We've talked about that too. You know what I'm talking about. They're all going to be valuable, but cash will still be king for a little bit when there's a massive, banking outage or bank run or bank freeze, whatever happens. And we've been told that they want a Fedcoin, okay? Look it up. Go look up Fedcoin. It's a real thing. The federal government is trying to make their own cryptocurrency. So they don't really like Bitcoin, all these other quote-unquote decentralized currencies. I mean, say what you want about them. I don't know if they're a good investment. I don't really think so. I don't really think it's there yet, the technology. I think the idea is good, but I don't think it's there yet. But they're trying to capitalize and make their own thing. They want to shut that down. I don't really care if people want to. You can invest in whatever you want. I'm not going to invest in crypto, but you can invest in whatever you want. And they want their own. They want to shut that down because that's just not controlled by them, and they want their own federal digital currency. And what this is all leading towards is, I've said it before, carbon credits, tracking everything you're doing, monitoring everything you're doing, and that goes with your money too. Okay? It's going to be to the point where if you don't, say the right things, toe the party line, whatever, they will try to shut down your banking system. They've already done that before. Okay? We live in America. Banking is a fundamental freedom in America. Like, the federal government prints money, and that's how we buy and sell and trade. We have to have banks. We have to have access to banks to protect our money. Okay, everyone should have access to that, no matter who you are, even if you're have been convicted of murder or something. Okay, And obviously that's terrible, but they should still have a bank. They should still have a bank account or whatever, so they can, like, maybe they're innocent. Maybe they need a bank so they can pay their lawyer. Maybe they're actually innocent. You know, like, this is insane. People should have access to banking. And we've seen it in Canada. People shut down, people frozen out of their bank accounts. And what happens in China comes here next, guys. All these lockdowns, all this stuff, it happened in China first, and then it came here. All these draconian measures, it starts there. That's where they test it, because the tyranny is free reigning there. They just do whatever they want there, essentially. So they test it there first and then bring it here next. And this also comes as Russia, China, Brazil, India, all the BRICS nations are coming together to make their own world reserve currency. Okay? The dollar is the world reserve currency right now of the world, but they are coming together. They want to challenge that. And they're actually basing it off of supposedly a basket of goods that come from all the different countries. So supposedly it's backed by economic goods and economic power within each country. And you could say the dollar is also backed by that. It's not backed by that directly, but it is backed by that indirectly. But what happens when countries want to move away from the dollar because they are at risk of being sanctioned? They are at risk of their exports being shut down. And we're just isolating ourselves more and more in the world and setting ourselves up to have more enemies in the world. And the vacuum's being filled by these BRICS nations. They are making their own currency. They are moving ahead. They are not waiting for us to get our stuff together. So thank you guys so much for the support. That's where all the topics I want to talk about, that's where they're gonna be. Okay, from now on, stuff that I wanna say on here, but it's just censored. YouTube is just, they don't want to hear it. So I guess it's their platform. I guess they can do that. But yeah, it's kind of BS. So make sure you go there, see the forbidden knowledge, the forbidden fruit. That, you know, it also just proves, it's like, if they don't want you to see it, then it's probably true. Why don't they just show it to you? They show the most ridiculous things on YouTube, the most ridiculous conspiracy theories I've seen that have no evidence, no proof, but then somebody that just backs everything up with articles of what they're saying, you know, they don't want to see it. So hit that up, check it out, guys. There's definitely a ton of stuff on there that you're gonna like. And I'm also gonna be getting videos on there soon, so exclusive videos on there. It's just articles right now and links for everyone, but it's gonna have videos too. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up, please hit the sub and the bell to make sure that you get the notifications for it too, and please hit the comments down there. And thank you guys so much. I'm truly blessed to have you watching, and I hope you have a big, blessed, beautiful day. Thank you guys.